Let's all stand. We'll start with prayer tonight and then our pledges. I'd like to welcome you to the Oklahoma City chapter of the Oklahoma Second Amendment Association. Let's pray. God, we're thankful that we're able to come tonight. We're able to assemble. We're able to talk about the freedoms, the liberties that you've given our nation. We're thankful, Lord, for our leaders that adhere to those principles. We pray, Lord, that you'll give them guidance, wisdom as they make decisions that will affect not only our lives, but the lives of generations to come. We pray, Lord, that we'll be good stewards of what you've entrusted us with. Tonight we pray for the safety and protection of those who defend our nation. Lord, we pray that you'll bring our soldiers home safely. We pray, Lord, that you'll be with the officers on the street, that you'll give them wisdom and guidance and protection as they fight evil in our society. Lord, we pray for our leadership of Oklahoma Second Amendment Association. They battle many different topics, many different issues, and God, we just pray that they'll use your wisdom to help again to establish principles and policies that will better our nation and our state. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
We got a few seats up front here if you want to come up front, or we can pull out some more chairs for the back too if we need to. Okay, well, the sound system didn't work, so I'm going to be doing my hollering like I normally do, so here we go, folks. Who's here? Man, I see a lot of new faces. Who's here for the first time? First OK2A meeting? Yeah. Man. That is all right. That's all right. I sure appreciate that. Okay, with OK2A, this is a big month for us at OK2A for the fact that, believe it or not, this is our 10th anniversary. So in 10 years, you're now seeing what's transpired in 10 years through the leadership of OK2A. And I'd love to sit here and tell you that, oh, it was my idea and that this is a great idea, but it wasn't. I just happened to get on the bandwagon, the train, just like a lot of you people have, to get involved today and to get things rolling. But it took a concept for someone to recognize the fact that we're missing something that the national organizations just weren't covering. They just weren't, yeah, I see you, yeah, she's a busy gal. That the national organizations just weren't covering, and we needed to take care of these things and address these things right here in our own backyard. And the guy that came up with that concept, his name is Tim Gillespie, and he is the founder of OK2A, and he is the current board of directors, chairman of the board of directors for OK2A. Because a lot of you people think, oh, this is just Don. He just goes and does what he wants. And I'd like to tell you that was a yeah, but I still answer to a board of directors, and they also help provide me wisdom and guidance. And please, Don, don't do that. What happens has happened a few times too. We like the thought of it, but please just don't do that. So anyway, that's what's. So we're getting to that point tonight. I'm going to ask Tim Gillespie to come up at this point because we've got several announcements of some major changes in the board of directors that's going on that's important for you to keep up to date on. So, Mr. Gillespie, if you come over. Here is the founder of OK2A, Tim Gillespie. Yeah. This is why we're here tonight, guys. Church for you, right? Yeah. Tim's a pastor in Stroud, Oklahoma, so I'm sure he sees standing ovations every Sunday.
Usually it involves a tomato. As Don said, it started out at a kitchen table, recognizing that here we are in Oklahoma, state that's supposed to have all the great gun laws, right? And we didn't, especially 10 years ago. We've still got some doozies on the books, but we've made a lot of progress over the 10 years. So anyway, as Don said, we do have some changes that are taking place. One of those is that I have given my resignation from the board and as chairman. 10 years is a good long time, and I've got I need to put a little bit more focus on my family and so forth. And most people do it. I did it backwards. Most people have their kids and then they get in politics when they're a little bit older. I didn't have a kid till I was 46, so I've got a 3-year-old running around and she needs a little bit more attention from me. So I'm stepping down effective the end of the month, and we do have got changes in the leadership of the board. You'll be familiar with a couple of those guys, and then we brought a new member on the board to replace me, and they are both here. Rex Duncan is going to be replacing me as a board member.
Come on up, Rex.
And as far as the chairman, our vice chairman is stepping up into the chairman's position, and that is Tom Vineyard. Tom, come on up here. He was not able to be here tonight, but Dan Fisher is going to be the new vice chairman of the board of directors. When you start something like this and you put a lot of hours and a lot of money and a lot of effort into it, it's one of those. It's always your baby, and one of the things that I'm very pleased with as Don has taken over as president, and now with Tom taking over as chairman, I know it's in good hands. So these guys do a great job, and I know they're going to continue to do so.
Amen.
Yeah. Now, what was not mentioned is Rex Duncan is a former legislator. He knows the ins and outs that have taken place and has seen some of the stuff, and especially has given me some guidance on what takes place in that state legislature. But one thing about it, you guys remember some issue, I don't know, what was it called, open carry? He wrote the first bill that was vetoed by Governor Henry. So when we're bringing people onto the board of directors, it's not just for a show. It's for people that have a genuine interest in what's going on. And also, he's also been a DA in Osage County. So, and he's going to help us bring just some general advice. And he's also at the Capitol on a regular basis. So he'll be looking in on checking on some of our stuff with us too. So Rex, I appreciate you coming on board with us. We made one suggestion for a new board member, and he accepted, and that's just the way I like it and the way it should be. It's very good. So, but again, like I say, the board of directors is also, like I say, Dan Fisher. We have two others, county commissioner. I just went blank on his name. Dylan Berry, sorry, Dylan Berry, and Sterling Johnson are other, and also our treasurer. Many of you know is also helping us too, Denise Hartley. So these are people that I deal with pretty regular basis on what's going on and what we're trying to move forward with. Okay, now I do believe, and let's see here, who here showed up just tonight because I said there's going to be a special gift for everybody? Who said that's the reason why I'm showing? Come on, Cleveland, come on. If there was ever a guy that knew it was a Santa Claus, it had to be him.
I just wanted that muffin.
Okay. So what we've got for tonight for every person here, and I appreciate you showing up, and we haven't passed these out to anybody yet, and I hope I don't get myself hurt pulling this out of here. We have an OK2A lapel pin. All right? Everyone here is going to get one tonight. You're passing, bring me back the extras there.
Absolutely. This one bag?
Yeah, just got the one bag, so just hand them a fistful. And so it's going to be like church. You know, they're going to pass the plate. No, I'm kidding. I shouldn't be, but I'm kidding. So that's what that's about. Did you get one already? So that's what we said you were going to be getting tonight. And for all the people that didn't come tonight, oh man, you don't have a lapel pin that says OK2A on it. Yeah, show them again, Kendall. Show them what that looks like. So that's what it looks like. You go, woohoo! Woohoo! All right. Now, the Oklahoma Second Amendment Association We are the state's leading advocate for Second Amendment rights. And I actually want to acknowledge a few people that are here tonight, too. Marvin Goodwin, Commissioner, County Commissioner, Logan County. Please stand up, sir. Just stand up for a second. Commissioner Goodwin was very instrumental in getting our county people to be able to carry on the job, and Logan County was the first county to do so, and it's because that guy right there said, you know what we need to do? And I said, yep, you're absolutely right. So that's what we've got going to. Also, I'm going to call up County Commissioner Kevin Calvey. Stand right there. It's all I keep trying to call you Representative Calvey because that's what I called him for so many years. But Commissioner Calvey, an attorney, this was the gentleman one of the gentlemen I worked with exclusively when we were fighting the protest against the referendum that was filed against constitutional carry. That guy right there broke his back for 2 weekends making sure we had that ready to go. So a lot of these things just don't take it for granted. When I say I'm dealing with attorneys, his face may pop up once in a while, along with and we want to thank too Robert Robles, who's a U.S. Law Shield head attorney. We deal with that too. He's been great on this also. Now, you guys on Facebook Live, type in where you're at, what parking lot you're at, what bar you're at. Did I say that out loud? I did say that out loud. Okay. Now, real briefly, and I saw some of you faces out there. Who went to Scissortail Park on the grand opening in Oklahoma City? Yeah, there's one out there, there. Yep, great. And walked in, produced your handgun license. They said, oh, wow, okay, thanks, and you walked right on through. That's because of the preparation that we've done with OK2A, because they knew that we're going to be able to carry there. Why fight it? Let's just go with it, and we went from there. But like I said, I'm really proud. I'm grateful to the city leadership, even though the mayor signed signed the protest or the referendum to make sure we can have constitutional carry. At least they recognize the fact that we will be able to carry in these public parks, and especially the public trust properties that they prohibited us from for a lot of years, a lot of times. So that's what's going on with that too, and I'm going down my list here. We'll be at Oktoberfest this year to test them to make sure that they're in compliance with state law. I don't know if they are going to or not. We will see. We'll see how that goes. Oh, yeah, there's this little thing on November the 1st. Have y'all heard about it? Bobby Cleveland. He's eating dinner tonight. I haven't heard anything about a Raleigh State Capitol. Well, have you opened up your email? You're still on Facebook once in a while. Okay, so Representative Cleveland, I want to give you a personal invitation.
Thank you.
November the 1st at 10 a.m., south side of the state capitol, we're having not a rally, the rally for constitutional carry and Second Amendment rights.
Yeah.
Right? This is going to take place no matter what happens in the court action on October the 30th. That is a lawsuit filed to stop constitutional carry. Yeah, you can do some boos. Oh, that's the hisses. I'm sorry. I get confused with my hisses and boos. So we're going to have that no matter what. I'm looking forward. It's going to be a heck of a celebration, peacefully carrying your firearms. Now, again, I was going to remind people, that don't mean you're going to be carrying them in your hands. You're going to carry them by state law, which is either by a sling, holster, scabbard, or a case. That's what's going to take place, okay? And also, we're requesting any long guns, which is rifles or shotguns, not be chamber loaded. And here's the other thing we're going to get into. Nice room full of people like this. There's some people out there that don't like this constitutional carry, and you get your liberty back. So here's what's going to happen. I can tell you right now. There's going to be some red shirts, and they're not going to say OU on them. They're going to be up there. And here's what I want you to do if you are encountered by one. How are you enjoying your liberty today? Everything going okay? Everything going all right? Yeah. There is absolutely no reason to get hostile and or allow a person to get hostile with you. Just thank them, have a nice day. I don't care if they walk up and stomp your foot, because the fact is they need you to respond ugly so they can get it on video, so they can go out and blow it out of proportion as they have everything else, and do what they can to push back our efforts with liberty, period. So again, I want to remind you, folks, we won.
That's right.
Let them be sour. Let them be sour. We want. Let them be sour. So just let them be sour. And like I said, you're not going to see me. I would say they voiced their opinion, maybe inappropriate to me, multiple times, and I still get the phone calls and the emails and stuff. Folks, just let them blow it off. Let them blow their steam, but there is no reason for you to engage it. Like I say, just hit them back with so syrupy sweet. Oh, how are you enjoying your liberty today, Mr. Cleveland? You doing okay there? Loving it. All right, loving it. And like I say, the other thing too is absolutely on this day, no show and tell. Obviously, you're going to be seeing firearms. But I do not want one person handing another person a firearm to look at it, nothing like that, because they want an accident. They want something to happen. They've got to have it. So don't give it to them. Don't give it to them. Any questions on that? November 1st, anyway, that's a Friday, right? Had one guy already, what's this?
No horizontal vertical.
Oh, thank you. Firearms, long guns need to be carried. In fact, all guns need to be carried in a vertical position. I don't want anyone showing up with a gun hanging horizontal off there, and I'm not pointing it at anybody, even though it's being pointed at somebody. Thank you for reminding me of that. So we need to be as safely as possible. Folks, you need to be even more careful than you are in a gun range. On a gun range, you better be very careful. All right? Okay. That's what's going on with that. Let's see. Tonight, did I mention constitutional carry? You guys hear that's going into effect? Yeah. Now, on the lawsuit against it, this is where it's at. Bobby Cleveland, by the way, your U.S. Law Shield guy showed up now, and he'll speak with you if you would like.
Well, thank you, sir.
Okay, because you were worried about that. All right. You got off track now for a second there. But the lawsuit, thank you.
Law Shield.
Lawsuit, Law Shield, it all kind of runs together. The lawsuit, there's basically several options that can happen. Obviously, our first option that we hope is that on October 30th, Judge Andrews looks at this and he says, this is a single subject deal, it's not an issue, and he decides that the lawsuit is dismissed and goes away. That's the best for everybody, everything. That's what we will hope. And folks, I would even ask you to pray for that because it's our liberty's waited for 112 years. It doesn't need to wait another day. Doesn't need to wait another day. Other options could be is that he says, okay, this temporary injunction, I am not going to allow the temporary injunction, but I am going to go ahead and hear the case. So we would still be able to constitutional carry on the 1st, but there would be a case that could still be going on. The third option that could be is that, you know what, this temporary injunction is absolutely correct. We're going to put it in. We're going to and I'm going to hear this out, and then it could put constitutional carry on a pause, but we're still going to rally on the 1st. Because we're going to let our legislators know and remind them, because they've done such a great job for us, that we wanted this. We sent you there to do this. We're not in a minority, as the other side keeps misrepresenting, and we want this to take place. So also, some of you may have noticed, now I'll tell you what, I will do that. We'll do that sidebar. We'll take that sidebar. Okay, now, to get constitutional carry to the governor's desk is not as easy as we made it look this year. And I've got several legislators here that can tell you and attest to that. But this year, State Representative Kevin West, sir, if you'd come on up here for just a moment. State Representative Kevin West presented constitutional carry on the floor. I know there was quite a few of you got. Can you see me? Come closer. We're okay. Okay. Constitutional carry, and I'm really proud of a lot of you guys. Were right there in the gallery watching this history take place, and you watched this gentleman. What was it? An hour and
2.5 hours.
It was 2.5 hours. Wow, time flies when you're winning, huh? Yeah, 2.5 hours of debate, questions and debate for constitutional carry. And that's just to get it out of the House before it can go to the Senate and for it all to take place there also. State Representative Kevin West did an awesome, patient job. In fact, this is the guy I would anticipate that Moms Demand Action would come up to and try to start a fight, and he would say, "How's your liver today? Is everything fine?" Because he took endless, redundant, stupid questions and fair questions while on the floor during that time. And like I say, we rehearsed stuff, we went over stuff, and like I say, everything was coming out of his mouth was what was spinning around in my head. So, folks, my confidence is very, very high with that. Now, I'm going to tell you one other thing here, too. I had all the awards made up, and for some reason, yours didn't pop up when I went to get them. So we still owe you the award. But here's what we've got going, too. And we've kept this as a surprise till tonight because I know you guys are going to want one. You're going to want one. But what we had made up is a collage, a montage, and tell me how close I can get here. Keep going. Right there, that way. Oh, it's just like driving a car. You know I'm a truck driver, right? Okay. What this is a collage of what a bill looks like, and on the front page and the back page. So I'm going to go ahead and back up. So what it is right up here. It says an act relating to firearms. Yeah, I can dig that because that's exactly how this is announced from the House floor. House Bill 2597, an act related to firearms. And so then it goes into what's going on. You'll see here the whole list of legislators that authored the bill. And like I say, it goes right on down here. And there's this guy named Kevin West that's right here in the middle of this, folks. Right here in the middle of this. And also it gives the Senate. We put the state emblem here. And then we took from the last page the official notice from the Secretary of State and Governor Stitt's signature for this bill. Yeah. That's only half the cool part of this, because the other cool part of this is on the back, and we put it in glass so you can see how fast and the history of this going through. And right here, oh gosh, where'd it go? Right here, House floor presentation by Kevin West, third reading, measure passed 70-30 on 2/13/19. All right. What? Oh, the back. Oh, I'm sorry. I speak English sometimes. Okay. So, this is the first one we've passed out. Each legislator that was an author on the bill will get one of these for their office, and we've intentionally not passed them out because they don't have offices right now. The house is being under major construction for offices, so we haven't passed them out. But I'm going to go ahead and trust him because I know he'll give it to Marlene, and Marlene will take good care of it for sure. But anyway, this is, like I say, this is a memorabilia from the Oklahoma Second Amendment Association right here, and we'll show this around a little bit. We'll also put it up on Facebook, what this looks like. And because I know you guys that were up there, you say, I'd like to have a copy of that. Yeah, see, there you go, right there. I probably could auction one off right now if I could already. But anyway, State Representative Kevin West, he's still carrying other gun bills for us, and we're already talking about stuff for next session that we want to go ahead and move forward and get accomplished. And folks, some people talk it, but this guy lives it right here. Kevin, appreciate you. Take our picture. Thank you. You want to say something?
Well, I just want to say how much I appreciate the support that this group has given and all of the effort that went into getting this bill passed. Like Don said, we spent a lot of time prepping for that presentation, And whenever I got on the floor that day and I looked up in the gallery and I saw so many of you guys up in that gallery, that just helped me a whole bunch to be able to weather that storm and present this bill. So this is much more about you guys and the work that you do than what I did on that one day. But I was very grateful to be a part of it. Thank you, guys.
We'll start later, Graham. Okay. Thank you. Well, like they say, that doesn't suck. Right? Okay, well, OK2A, keeping up his tradition of moving things forward, we got another first that's going to happen next month. No, not just talking November 1st. What is the dates on it? Hang on here. Nope. November 9th and 10th. Tulsa, we will have our first booth at the Wanamaker Gun Show.
Yeah!
Now, there was somebody that came up to me that was wanting to work the booth. There you are. And I'll have to get you in contact with James Miller and Wayne Hill. Neither one of them can make it here tonight. They got like work or some kind of excuse like that, But I know they're watching. They're big on that. But anyway, this is people say, when are we going to be at gun shows? Well, if we're going to be at one, let's be at the best one there is. Yeah. That's for sure. So I'm looking forward to that. The booth will be there. If folks make a trip to Tulsa, come by there, come by the booth, and come by and find us. Because like I say, if you've never been to a gun show, this is the one to go to. If you can't find what you're wanting or even thinking about, you're not looking very hard, because it's there. It's a 250,000 square feet of tables full of guns, ammunitions, and all other kinds of stuff. So basically, I think they call that heaven on earth. Gun on earth. It's liberty at its finest for sure. Now, let's see. No, I did that. Seems like I'm still missing one other thing before I go on to this next. Okay, I'll just go on to the next. Okay, by the way, in case you're wondering what a lawsuit looks like, this is it. This is the petition that was filed in the district court against constitutional carry. All right. So it's basically what's called as a single subject rule is one of their main complaints against this, which just cracks me up, because the whole bill of 2597 is in the Self-Defense Act. It doesn't go outside of that. But they're saying that it's multiple sections, and it's amazing. The section they're complaining about the most, or at least from what I gather, is that against illegal aliens not being able to carry guns. That it's a discrimination. Yes. And I'm just okay. So, should we rewrite this to where illegal aliens can carry, and you guys would approve that? No. So the hypocrisy is normal. Yeah. And basically, this is normal, and it's getting. It used to be when I started this in 2010, we had 7 or 8 Democrats you could count on to support your gun rights, and in the House of Representatives right now, there's not a single one. Not a single one. And I would hope that could turn around at some point. But it is really sad to see that even the state Democrats are moving to the national level. And so they're cozying up to the Moms Demand Action, which just I find incredible, because they sit there and say, oh no, we don't want to take your guns. When you got Beto O'Rourke saying what? Yeah. We're coming after your AR-15s. When you got Joe Biden saying, oh, we need to register every gun you've got. That does not work too well for me, and we will continue at least at the state level to push against this. Now I remember what else I had here too. Now, red flag laws, which is how they're going to make the effort to take your guns away without taking your guns away. I got a situation today. An 84-year-old man who was been a retired law enforcement officer he'd been an officer for 40 years, working school zones for kids to walk by the street sign guy. What is it? Crossing guard. Crossing guard. And of all things, he's sitting at some lunch or something, and he says, you know, the security guy is not here. He needs to be here because this would be a time someone would come in here and shoot the place up because there's no one here to defend us. So what do? They report him, and they have the police show up at his house and within an hour, and they take his guns. That's a red flag, folks. And here's the other part. He's a veteran. And if any of you are veterans, you better darn well know you're first on the list. You are first on the list. You say something online, you say something anywhere, just like this, and as innocent as it was for this gentleman, and they're coming after you. And he has to hire an attorney just to go get his guns back. And that's red flag laws. Yes, sir, you had a question.
Another reason to have U.S. Law Shield. They've come out and said that they will defend the members with red flag laws.
Awesome. And U.S. Law Shield is in the house. Thank you very much, Josh Reel back there. But this is how I look at it. It shouldn't ever get to have to go to U.S. Law Shield. We got to stop these things before they can ever advance at all. And the only way we stop these advancements is to have someone there keeping an absolute eye on this stuff, because they'll try to sneak it through. Because, folks, guess what? We've had Republicans introduce this too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's happened. It's happened. So we've got to be there to keep an eye on it. And to keep an eye on it, and I am so proud of some of you, a lot of you guys, have absolutely joined for the first time. You say, well, I've never even been a member of the NRA or something else. And you've joined OK2A for your first time because you see value in what's taking place. Because I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. What does your liberty cost? You know, well, I don't need to, my rights are free. I shouldn't have to pay for them. Well, you're going to pay when you lose them. You're going to pay for your losing them. Some of you guys have been in here, you've defended our country, and you've seen what it's been like for people that have lost their rights. So for those of you, like I say, if you're not a member, I don't know what you're waiting on. I got no clue. And also, those of you that have joined as a recurring member, that is absolutely great. And it'll also put you in front of every drawing we have. You're automatically a member. You don't have to call me or ask me, hey, Don, is my membership due? Because it's just there. And also, your finances are going to make sure we have representation at the state capitol and continue to move the Second Amendment right in the correct direction it's supposed to be, which is getting our rights back that should have never been taken away, period. Now, Representative West, I forgot to mention earlier, there's a little bill we've got coming up. It's called SJR 16, and it's a change to the state constitution. Now, and I don't want this confused with constitutional carry, folks, because they'll listen to me real close. November 1st, when we're legally allowed to carry long guns and handguns without permission of the government, you still don't have your rights back in Oklahoma. You do not have your rights back in Oklahoma, because the state legislature under the current state constitution says you have the right to keep and bear arms shall never be prohibited, and then there's this nasty little semicolon, and it says, but the legislature shall regulate the carrying of weapons, which is basically an oxymoron. It can't be, and it's been like that since statehood. And we've had some terrible, terrible court rulings as a result of that. So what's taking place is we have introduced, like I say, SJR 16, and it is going to change the state constitution to say the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, and it shall be up to the state to defend these rights. That means it's not supposed to come out of your pocket to defend this. The state will have to do that. So that's our goal. It also leaves a provision for the legislature to regulate weapons for felons, domestic violence, mentally people that have been adjudicated, so on, some things like that. And also the third paragraph of it, which is what I really like, it says there can be no special taxation on your guns. There cannot do anything to regulate any portion of your guns or your ammunition. And all these things are being looked at, and we've spent years putting this together. And again, this stuff doesn't just come together overnight. But State Senator Bullard introduced that, and Representative West is going to be the House author on the bill because he seems to be doing an okay job. He seems to be doing an okay job. And the other interesting part about this, the two people that are introducing this and working this bill are not attorneys. And I think that's great. that takes some courage to stand up to people that are up there that are willing to pick you apart or pick something apart, and you go, nope, this is the way it is. It needs to change. We know it is, and we're going to move forward with it. So I'm real proud that we've got the people that just say, you know what, it's just time to do this. The second part is you don't need an attorney to do everything, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this. That's for sure. Any questions on that? Yes, sir, Mr.
If that passes this session, when will it go on the ballot?
It should be on the November ballot in the general election. That should, don't absolutely hold me to that, but that's basically what it's supposed to hold out to. All right. Someone else had a question? Did I see a hand go up? No? Yes? No? Yes.
Senate Bill 1081.
Senate Bill 1081. That's the red flag law.
Going back to the previous one,
Yes.
What is that SRJ?
SJR 16. SJR 16. Senate Joint Resolution. That's what the SJR. It will go to a vote of the people. It does not go to the governor's desk. So that's a change in the state constitution has to go to a vote of the people for the final approval. So, folks, you ain't seen nothing yet as far as going against your gun rights, because we saw what higher education did with your tax dollars the last time we put this up, and we held it back this last year because of strategy, because we did not want a confusion between constitutional carry and a constitutional change, because that was part of what clouded in 2016 for both of those to get knocked down, because they were able to cloud and do that. Plus you had some Republicans that wouldn't hold their spine where it was supposed to be. But anyway, but folks, we're going to go back to this again. If we can't get this passed to a vote of the people, you've got no one to blame but Republicans. There's a supermajority in the House, a supermajority in the Senate. The ballot in November. None. No excuse at all. Okay, 1081, that was your question? Yes. Senate Bill 1081 has been introduced by Senator Dom. Basically, man, I love that guy. But basically, it's to set up so red flag laws cannot be instituted with federal dollars in Oklahoma. Because basically that's what's going to happen is they're going to hold out federal dollars for states to take the money, divvy it out, so red flag laws can be introduced, can be used to institute them, and so on. And so that's the one thing is we're just going to make where you can't take federal dollars, and also that law enforcement cannot carry one out also. So that's basically what it's looked at. I don't know if anyone's took the time to read the bill yet. I'm sure there'll be some changes to it just because just the nature of this brand new beast we're dealing with. We'll see if we can get it to move. At a minimum, we're not going to take it laying on our backs where they can just keep introducing red flag laws and introducing them. We're going to introduce something to go against specifically what they're doing. And yes, Mom, this is Man Action. We know you're watching. How's your liberty tonight? We look forward to seeing you guys on November the 1st.
I hope
So
you bring cookies.
I hope you bring cookies. I don't know that I'd eat them. But anyway, I don't know if I'd eat them. Okay, let's see. Was there any other questions on that? Yes, sir, in the back.
Yeah, on your red flag laws, if you are a veteran and you go to the VA hospital, cover your ass. Because say it, they've already got you.
Correct. So
They
what?
will take you from the VA hospital to the federal courts to follow through on it. If it is determined that you are any type of
I'll repeat this. Okay, I'm going to repeat this because just in case everyone couldn't hear you. Yeah, if you're a veteran and you go into VA, if they ask if you own, have guns, whatever, I would take a Fifth Amendment right on it. I actually would. I would not answer it, and I think they've even got some little provision that says if they don't answer it, they can do something else. But and that's not. I'm not going to tell you that on advice of counsel. I'm just saying from my own personal. That's how I think I would deal with that. And also, folks, you take your kids to the doctor, and if your own doctor says you got guns in the house, don't answer it because you're being marked. You're being marked. And the Obama administration started that, and we don't know that that's ended. So to protect your family, I think the term is nunya. None of your business? Yeah, that's where I would go with that also. So on that. That was a good question, though, sir. Thank you. But also the red flag laws. Let me back up a bit. Constitutional carry. Who here was in the gallery? Give me some hands. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, look at this. The House gallery during the presentation. Look at that. So, folks, this is how we get stuff done. It cracks me up. The other side is saying that they're a grassroots effort. I'm trying to stay on a straight face, right? But I call it AstroTurf when you have out-of-state money come in and pay for full-page ads against it, when you have out-of-state lobbyists hired to come in to work against it, and when you have in-state lobbyists that are hired to work against it, and when you have a House of Representative member of 97, District 97, that continues to introduce referendums and lawsuits against constitutional carry. Folks, they're not doing that for free because they just hired Crowe and Dunleavy of the Oklahoma, which is one of the top leading attorney firms, legal firms here in the city and in the state. They don't do that for free. So that's big. And also, when you ask the representative who's funding that, he goes, "I don't know." Well, I mean, like, what do you know? Well, he knows that. It cracks me up. How can a constitutional right be unconstitutional? Yeah. How can that be? How can someone stand there and with a straight face? And I want to get something clear too. I'm glad I brought this up. I'm glad I brought this up. Representative Lowe has been elected by the people. I don't care how much you disagree with him, and it doesn't matter. You make sure you show him the absolute respect, because there was a few people and a couple of people, not a lot, but anybody in our group that sends the message out there again that he needs to go back to the plantation, you're out of this group. You're out of here. We don't need this. This isn't the 50s. It's not the 40s. It's not the 40s. He's an elected official. So what I like to say, I don't care how much you agree with him or disagree with him, you're going to show the officials the maximum respect that they deserve. Like I say, whether you disagree with them or not. So I want to make sure that's clear, because on our group stuff and our conversations, I will not tolerate that. And I think you guys know that if I don't tolerate profanity, where am I going to go with that, right?
You're out.
You're out is exactly right. We don't need it. We don't need the headaches for it. So like I say, and again, that's just a few people, but I'm putting it out there so everybody knows that. Somebody have a question back there? Oh, no. See, if you were at the auction, you'd have bought something. Yeah. Yeah, you'd have bought something. Okay, is there any other questions? You're kidding. I can't believe I'm answering all this. All right, there's one other thing. And where did it go? Okay, we're going to be putting up on our website, on the red flag laws, your education talking points. So you can understand what rights this is violating, and so you can also be prepared in any conversation that you have, whether it be social media or in person, how to address and deal with this. Because folks, they're violating like 6 constitutional rights. And the due process, number 5, is just, it's insane that it is just being completely obliterated with what's going on. And that just needs to end. So also what I want to do tonight too, I saw candidates. Mr. Ballard, just raise your hand up. For U.S. House District 5.
District 5.
District 5 against Kendra Horn. Who else are candidates here? Yeah, Eric, stand up for a second.
Eric Roberts, House District 83.
House District 83. Stand up for me, sir.
Randy Talley, House District 56.
I heard I was going to get to meet you.
I'm here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Who else do we have? Any other candidates here? Now, folks, I want you to pay attention. Candidates don't show up here. These guys actually have skin in the game. Most of them are members. In fact, I think 3 OK2A members are running for U.S. House District 80, U.S. House District 5, the Kendra Horn seat.
Yeah.
That should tell you something that, we're the place to be with, and we need to be with them on this stuff. So that's what's going on too. Now, also, we're redoing the OK2A candidate survey to update to include red flag laws. Are you with us or not? That's what we're going to have it on there. And so just like last year, the last election, when you guys walk in holding the candidate survey and asking them why they haven't filled it out, I'm telling you, folks, that goes a long ways. It goes a long ways. It's a very useful pressure, and it's going to let them know that, gosh, if I'm already getting handled on this now, what's it going to be like after I'm elected? Yeah, that's what it's going to be like. Okay, let's see. Is there anyone have any comments for tonight? Yes, sir. Yes, stand up for a second.
I wanted to thank you for sending me an email reminding me to renew my dues. I can pay this money.
I just wish I could take credit for that, but that is Denise does that for us because I'm busy with the other stuff. I have the easy job. I'm just trying to write bills and get them passed. Anything to do with that calculator, computer, anything. And you guys saw some of the heck I put up with the new cell phone. Oh man, iPhone 11. Oh, so it was just getting ready to be a new target out there on the. So anyway, yes, sir.
On October 30th, should we show up at the courthouse to observe what's going on?
I would say I would say it's perfectly fine. And the truth of the matter is, I may need someone to save me a seat to go in there because even though the Attorney General is our attorney on this deal, and so I don't know if I'll probably just a spectator like everybody else. But yeah, be prepared to go in there. Also, one thing's for sure: if we get the absolute victory cleared, same thing. I want you to be absolutely clear that someone may try to pick a fight with you. How's your liberty today? Be nice, walk away, because we don't need it. We won. And I can't overemphasize that enough. I mean, how's liberty sound? It sounds better all the time, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm thinking so. Okay. Well, I want to remember, U.S. Law Shield is here. If you've not signed up, I don't know why you don't have it. If you carry a gun, if you don't carry a gun, but you carry any kind of a weapon, you need to be ready and have U.S. Law Shield representing you. And Josh will be back in the back there. Check with who here is members of U.S. Law Shield. Okay. Now I know some of you guys are USCCA, and I'm not knocking anything. I'm just telling you this is who we work with the most with on that. All right. Yes, sir.
Any movement on campus carry?
I'm glad you brought that up. I would say yes, because I didn't put this out. I'm going to go ahead and say it now. I was asked to speak at the University of Central Oklahoma at a media-biased conference. And because I've happened to notice it, that there is a little bit. Oh, there you go. UCO right there. Were you at the
I had class.
You had class? You had the wrong class, because that was a class, I thought.
Criminal justice.
Criminal justice. Okay. So anyway, I'm there. They've got Moms Demand Action, and so I let them know that the problems with the media and what they need to do. And I said basically it's a character issue, because when you see people just lie and lie and lie, and someone's faking a weather report. When the hurricane's blowing so bad, and then you see someone just walk behind them, And what was it, ABC this week? What was the ABC thing?
Not Creek
gun show.
Yeah,
said it was Syria.
Said they were in Syria, but turned out to be Kentucky. Yeah, and they still really didn't back up from it very fast, So yes, there's issues, but here's what was interesting. And I've requested this before and received it, but I'm going to point this one out specifically. Since I was going to be speaking at the conference, I submitted a request to be able to carry a concealed handgun while on the campus during the event. I told a few people about this, and I should have taken bets, because it wasn't just no, it was just hell frozen no that would happen. And it was approved.
Yo!
Yeah. My wife, being a former employee, was the lead character. I don't know why you're even wasting the bandwidth to send that email. But the thing is, and I had a very good conversation with the chief of police. And he was revealing, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but he was revealing he understands which way the wind's blowing on this. and that they're going to have to start realizing it's going to take place. But here's the other thing that happened, which is really sad. He said, this is the first request we've ever gotten. And a lot of that is because, and I've had students tell me, I'm afraid to ask them anything because the retaliation to take place, which is why OK2A was so big on Senate Bill 361 to protect free speech on a college campus. So if someone says, I want to be able to carry my gun, here's my license, I want to be able to carry it, that they cannot make that person's life a living hell, or at least they're going to get their tuition paid for one way or the other. That's the way that I look at that. So for college students, start asking, acquire your license, and request to carry a concealed handgun while you're at school. Start sending those rejections to me, because we're going to use that, because a lot of the higher ed says, we just haven't got this request, so it's just not an issue. And I don't know about you, I'm not a fan of going anywhere I can't defend myself.
Yes.
And I hope you're that kind of a fan too, and stay with that. But like I say, I found that encouraging. Now that fight's not over. I mean, because here, I'm a CLEAT certified instructor, a licensed armed security officer. They're thinking, well, okay, this, and I'm just going to be there for 2 or 3 hours, so we'll see. But that needs to be a common occurrence, people requesting this, and make higher ed so tired of having to deal with it, they say, fine, we'll just make a policy, everyone can carry, blah, 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 and or encourages the state legislature to approve the change so a person can carry a handgun with a concealed carry license, with a handgun license, while on a college campus property. That's where I'm going with that. And also, it's currently on our survey, so we ask potential candidates, where they're at on this. And it's kind of one of those spots where people get graded down. Well, higher ed doesn't like it. Well, you've got me confused with somebody who cares. I mean, they don't like free speech either, but we had to fix that. So those types of things are here. Now, Kevin Calvi was here. Where'd he go? Did he slip out already? Oh, okay. I don't know if he had something he was wanting to do or not. Well, folks, that's about it. I'm sorry.
Just a reminder that they all may not know that referendum hearing that's going to be on the 30th is against the governor, not us.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Okay. Yeah, that's a very good point. And the reason why the Attorney General is representing the people is because it was actually the governor that was sued on the lawsuit that will be heard on October 30th. It was not OK2A that was sued. It was Governor Stitt himself. So I'm sure he's real thrilled with Don. I'm just kidding. This guy, Governor, that was his first bill signed into law. He wanted it. It just cracked me up. We couldn't make that thing move fast enough for him. See, that's what's cool about a guy. That's not been in politics. He's been an actual leader of a company that says, I want this to happen, I want it to happen now. And the reflection is it took place at the state capitol that day, because that bill was passed at 2 o'clock and we were signing it at 4. And like I say, it was signed so fast they didn't even have official pens for the state to use, and I still have that pen. So that was a...
Who was there?
Oh yeah, who was there for the governor's signing? Who was there that day? Look at this. Connie was out there. Connie was there too. Yeah. Another day that didn't suck, right? Right. Oh, okay.
I was in Miami, Oklahoma that day and heard about it a minute later.
Did you?
A minute after it passed.
Well, from us? Because I think I published it. I think I took a picture. The picture was blurry because I was just shaking so fast, and took the picture and then I posted it. Yeah.
No, I got a cell phone call.
Oh, you got a cell phone call? Well,
about a minute after.
Hopefully someone more important than me.
Well, she thinks she is.
Okay, that's all that matters. That's right. That's all that matters. Okay, we about got this wrapped up for tonight. I want to again reemphasize, if you're not a member, it's time to join. A lot of people say, well, I'm going to wait around and see what OK2A can do before I put any support in it. Folks, we've already done it.
right.
We've worked hard to make sure constitutional carry was not on the governor once, but twice. We've had the repeal of 8 felonies, which I'll remind you, the Shockwave shotgun will be legal to own and carry November the 1st and without a license.
Yeah.
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 I bought one today. And we're going to give it to the governor. Yep. We're going to have it tricked out. On one side, it's going to say Day of Liberty, constitutional carry, and it's going to have the date, the date it was went into law, and we're going to have it on there tricked out, and hopefully, we're tentatively working to see that he can be at the rally on the 1st. I haven't gotten back officially, but I haven't gotten back a no, which is a very good indication that I'm sure they're trying to work it to his schedule. And we will try to present it to him that day. And no, it won't be presented to him barrel first. That will not happen. So, but again, that's being done. Your membership is taking care of that. And also, I worked with an FFL that got it for us at cost. So we're watching how your dollars are being used and spent with things just like that. So, but like I say, I mean, how cool would that be?
Yeah.
It's perfectly legal now. Why not give it to the guy that inked it, you know? So anyway.
He puts it on his wall.
Up in the Capitol. Yeah.
Yeah, President candidate Joe Biden's behind that too because he said, buy a
Well, this
shotgun.
isn't
Buy a
a
shotgun.
well. It's not a double barrel. He was hooked up on the double barrel, but I'm sure he'd still want to register it no matter what. So okay. Any other final questions before we get out of here? Is there any on
There's
yeah.
one person wanted to know how many members we had, if you want to give out that information.
Okay. The answer is no, and we do that for your protection.
Okay.
Bunch.
And then somebody's wanting to know if we're aware that McLeod, Oklahoma, is now prohibiting carry at park locations like they did in Tulsa.
Yeah, I got word of that last night or 2 days ago, and I'm going to. I need to develop an email and send it to the county sheriff there, who was he's just misinformed. He doesn't understand the difference between a public trust property and a municipal property. And he's trying to treat it like a public trust property, and he can't do that. And again, I don't think this is an issue of a sheriff that's just run amok. I think it's just a simple misunderstanding of what's been so many complicated laws that OK2A has worked so hard to make it simpler to understand. If you guys remember 10 years ago, which is what got me started, it was a felony to leave your gun in a car while you're at a VOTEC.
Yeah.
And I was taking armed security guard class. Absolutely stupid. So that was the first bill. In fact, in 2009, I handed it to a legislator. Here's the problem with this. And he said, okay. And I think it makes perfect sense to me. And then I hear, well, it died. What do you mean it died? I'm learning this. What do you mean it died? Well, yeah, the speaker didn't let it be heard and such. So that's when I got involved the next year. It was being introduced, and so I went into a public safety committee in my work boots, blue jeans, flannel shirt, because I just left work driving a truck, walked in there, and requested I could speak. And then I realized this room full of VOTEC presidents, $125,000 a person, sitting there working against my constitutional rights on my tax dollars.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, very good that day, Representative Fott at the time, he said, this gentleman right here, I want to give him my 2 minutes, so I was allowed 4 minutes to speak. Well, you guys know I can take 4 minutes. And I let him know basically that, hey, I'm not trying to carry a gun in a VOTEC, I'm just trying to leave my gun in the car. And reminded them, well, it came out of committee that day 8-7. Huh. So this is how this is done. And that thing went through every conference committee. It went the hardest track, and I actually had a copy of the bill and intentionally ran into Governor Fallon, explained to her in 90 seconds what the bill was, and explained to her why it was important to me, and asked her to sign it and handed her a copy of the bill, and she signed it 2 days later.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me one person can't make a difference. One person can make a difference. And so from there, the repeal of felonies started rolling off. Repeal so you could leave your gun in a car at a public school. Repeal so you could, private schools could be able to, that teachers or administrators could carry guns, because it was a felony for a private school to have a gun on their own private property. And like many of you have heard me say before, if they could regulate a gun on that private property, they could regulate the free speech and religion and tell that school, you can't talk about Jesus, or you can't talk about whatever is important to that school. And that just gave me chills. And same thing, that bill was difficult when we worked it through, because the public school people know it's going to be coming to public schools. And they were right, because we did it a year later. So, hey, those kids in the private school, are they more of value than the ones in the public school? So that's what kept this rolling. Bills we still have laid over from last year. The teacher carry bill, when it's time, we're going to ask you to start making calls to the state Senate, because the bill just needs to be voted on the Senate floor and then be on the governor's desk. And what that bill does, it allows a school board to option whether they want to allow a teacher to carry on a valid SDA license and any other further training required by the school board. And so we've got to continue to push this and move it forward. Also, Representative West has the bill that, and like I say, we've got three Baptist ministers on our board of directors, so I got some funny looks on this bill when I was telling them what we were doing. But basically, right now under current law, only the property owner can have a firearm in a bar. And what this bill does is, and because of my concern, we've seen bars being shot up all across this country, because even if they had a security guard, they put a bullet through his head, and in Florida they went in there and killed 57 people. So even though I'm not going to sit here and pull judgment on those people's other curricular activities, for an innocent person to be in a legal place at a legal time and to be massacred is completely crazy for us to leave that place to allow to be unprotected. And Oklahoma's the same way. So the bill is written that another employee with the approval of the business owner would be able to carry firearms for self-defense inside that bar. Also, we're repealing another felony, because if you walk into a bar peacefully carrying a gun, it's a felony and a 2-year prison sentence. The bill is written is that is now, if you refuse to leave the business, then you would be subject to a misdemeanor fine and a $250 fine. Because our jails don't need to be filled up full of people that have not done anything non-violent with a gun. It's stupid. So that's one of the other ones. The other felony repeal we're working on is, a lot of you guys here know it. Maybe some of you don't. We'll see if you know this. But if you're legally in peaceful possession of a firearm and you're driving your car and you give another person a ride who is a felon that doesn't even know you have a gun, and for some reason you get pulled over, the felon goes back to jail for up to 10 years, even if they didn't know you had a gun. And so this, it's so unconstitutional on so many levels that needs to be addressed. And that's also a bill that it's in the House floor to go, that we're going to continue to work on. Also, we're going to work to introduce to protect the stand your ground law, because it's been violated by a judge. So we've got the legislation ready, we've got it introduced, but we'll probably have it reintroduced again this year to make sure that we can fix that problem, because right now they can continue to over and over to prosecute you. And U.S. Law Shield says that's pretty stupid, and I agree 100%. When that first judge says, nope, it was self-defense, it needs to be done and go away. There should not be any second and third and fourth and fifth chances for it. And that's, unfortunately, the court ruling, not the law, the court ruling is set up. So that's another bill. The other ones, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned, they're not municipal employees. I'm actually working with a group that used to be against our bills, because they see the writing on the wall. Well, if everyone else is going to be able to carry a gun, we want to be able to, and they want their municipalities to have the option to be able to make sure employees can carry while on the job. And there's some tricky spots to it, because if a building is a secured building like a jail or something like that, we've got to make sure we've got the caveats that are in there appropriately. But if you're working for the water department or the library or something like that, you should be able to defend yourself in a non-secure public building. And which will also help us avenue to absolutely clear that a person would be able to carry into a public building with whether it be open or concealed. That's my direction I'm taking this. So and without any hesitations on that. So any other questions? Not yes or Dale? Dale always asks me a question.
Don, Senator Don come up with a bill, and I was wondering if it did or what, where it's at. Aligning Oklahoma law with federal law on black powder guns.
Okay. I think we took care of about 75% of that for you, and it goes into effect on November the 1st. And I'm not going to go into detail because there's a reason why we've not told anyone. Because I didn't want some other thing to come up, and I'm not going to give any more details than I'll tell you in private, but I'm not going to tell anyone else because we want it to go into effect because we don't want one more lawsuit trying to trump us up on a bill that should be in effect. So you wonder why our strategy is, well, he's not telling us much. There's a reason for it at times, folks, because you can't. You don't tell the enemy what you're doing or what you've done to make sure you can keep your advancement. At least anyone here in the military, is that what you do? Hey, you guys, we're going to do this. Yeah. So, I'm sorry?
Operation Security.
Operation Security. Thank you very much. I like that. That's good. That must be why you showed up. Like I say, is that why you showed up? Oh no, you showed up for the free thing. That's right. That's right. Okay, folks, I will be here. I'm sorry.
You mentioned about your first time being activist at the Capitol. How many people in here tonight have been to the Capitol at least once?
Yeah, who here
OK2A
has been to the Capitol at least one time? Look at this room. Look at this. Marlene, you've been to the Capitol? Wow. Yeah, folks, it's amazing what you can do with a small, determined amount of people. And because a small, determined amount of people grows into a larger amount of determined people. And like I say, next time, all you first people here for the first time, where'd you come in from? I saw some in. Guthrie, so you got to get your flight back to Guthrie here. Guthrie, okay. Guthrie?
No, I'm visiting California.
California? Oh my God. Are you going to be here through November 1st?
No, unfortunately. I was just wondering if California has a CA2A. I'm going to look into it and see if I can get it.
Well, I hope they do. I hope they do, but I would strongly suggest if you want to enjoy liberty to move.
We'll leave a few things out.
Yeah, right. So, but I get messages from people from California and New York and New Jersey too. What is it you guys are doing to get we can't get, from Illinois too, we can't get nothing to blah, blah, blah.
In Texas.
Well, I do get a few what'd you guys do to get constitutional carry? What'd you guys do to get capital carry? Because that's one of my things we're pushing for next year. Yes, sir, you have a hand up.
Yeah, I was wondering if anything's going on so that you don't become a felon if you have a beer with your dinner.
Good question. To progress to that, we've got to make sure, one, it's not a criminal act if you even walk into a bar. That's the first thing. So what we do here at OK2A is incrementalism. I agree with you, and we've seen in other states with minimal or no problems that a person that was still under the .05 up to .05 could consume alcohol and be in possession of a firearm. I think a person can do that. I think it's absolutely crazy because we're working on this first. A law enforcement officer, you can be walking down the street open carrying, and he can say, I think you're drunk, and you're getting close to being convicted right there on the spot. You don't have to take a breathalyzer. So we're working with U.S. Law Shield. The first objective is that anytime you're going to be accused of being drunk, that the breathalyzer has to be use, not just if you're driving. That's the first objective, because that will help a lot, quite a bit towards this. I know people can, and they're probably doing it. They're doing it now, that just they've got the gun underneath their coat or something, or go out to a restaurant and have a glass of wine or a beer, and it doesn't cause a problem because they haven't gotten caught. And but there's other states that do this, and I'm not a big proponent of drinking and driving. I think the gun is irrelevant to me. It's more likely you're going to get hurt with a car than the gun. But here's the thing too, we have to consider pushing towards. The gun should be irrelevant in a traffic stop. Even if you're under the influence or for anything, if you're not using that gun in any dangerous mode, you should not be facing a conviction for that. Right, U.S. Law Shield? Pretty much, because it's just there. I mean, if you had a hammer laying on the seat, would you be convicted because you have a hammer? So that's basically the direction that I see us taking, but you're going to have to be patient with us, because it's going to be a very slow move, because right now they're all freaking out because you got a gun without a license. So it's going to take quite a bit to get that direction on that. I don't see it happening anytime soon, but it is something, like I say, the gun should not be a part of a punishment unless you're using the gun as a crime. So that's the way I look at it.
You shouldn't be convicted going out to dinner and having a beer.
I agree with that, and like I say, because under the current law, that term, the legal term, is under the influence, and that's a very broad. In fact, one of the other bills we're fixing is that transporting alcohol, even if it's not open, under a very, very old law, says that means you're consuming. So we've actually got it in the same bill I referenced with Representative West there, that gives a definition of consuming means the actual consumption of alcohol or any product with alcohol in it. So we can start laying the groundwork to get to what you're talking about. Because like I say, we're dealing with some really, really old laws that are there, and I know there's some crazy district attorneys out there that would just love to gotcha on that out there.
What you're saying is we're boiling our own frog.
Boiling our own what?
We're boiling our own frog.
I guess.
They say we're the frog in the boiling pot. They keep sneaking these laws in, and we're going to get a frog in our own boil.
Well. Okay, I may need alcohol to figure that out, what you just told me. Okay, all right, folks, we're going to shut this down tonight. I truly appreciate your support. You can tell, you guys that are regulars, to see this thing grow every month. You also see on social media the people that are joining and getting involved. They understand that OK2A is of value, and to keep someone up there, keep an eye on their rights, is of value, and we need to continue to grow that. Oklahoma has 4 million people. 0.1% is 40,000, and we don't even have 10% of that. We need to grow this thing, and not to be anything to be feared, but to be respected. And that's how I continue to want to operate this. State Representative West, I appreciate you being here tonight, sir. And I want to say one last thing. Okay, Mom, I'm done. You can go to bed now. All right. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good evening. Be careful going home. U.S. Law Shield is outside if you have any questions for them. All right. Thank y'all.
So for that request for UCO to carry on campus, what happened?
Email me. Email me, message me something, and I will email you exactly what I sent to them.
Okay.
And then you go from there. And then any response information given, I'll get it back to them. Don't copy me where they can see it.
Right. It'll be my own
information. You can message me, message or something.
Yeah, Facebook.
Get it to me.
I'm always harassing on Facebook.
Good. That'll work.
Greg Palumbo.
Greg. Oh, yeah.
I used to lobby back in the mid-90s, early 2000s.